All right, so I'm live now, and there's no one here. I can see that. This is so weird. Thank you guys for coming back. I'm trying to check out to see if oh man, this is so weird how something happened with my software. Hey Caleb, what's up? Let's see if anything. Okay, comments are working. Great. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me and sticking around. That was I don't know. Something was happening with the software. I'm staring at my monitor and I can see myself and I can hear myself. Everything seems like it's good. I can switch between all my scenes and everything. And it's just the feed coming from the capture card into the software I was using seemed to be frozen on a single frame and it wasn't doing anything else. So I tried a whole bunch of stuff and then I ended up just restarting the software. So yeah, that was great. So all that SEO for titles and notifications that went out and everything, that was just great. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to delete that video right now just so people aren't confused as to what's happening. But man, wow, that was quite something. I've never had that happen before. So would you like to delete this video forever? Yes, absolutely. I would like to delete that video forever because that was horribly embarrassing. Anyway, stuff happens and you just got to roll with it. So hopefully you guys are all got something to drink, something to eat. And yeah, we'll be talking about all sorts of stuff tonight. This is you guys' show. You take it wherever you want to take it. Ask questions. If you hadn't seen the news, there's a new watch on the market right now, which is very, very exciting for people that are into ultra running. And I mean, lots of different reasons, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. Oh, what's up? Graham Angus, super chat. Thank you so much. Glad you got it working. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That means so much to me, Graham. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm laughing about it now, but, if you could have been inside my head while that was going down, I mean, we're live. It's just stuff was happening and yeah. But, I did want to, before we get too far into this, do a shout out to the new members of the channel because this is, the memberships are taking off. You guys are incredible. And I can't believe it. In the last week, we've had 3 new people sign up: Kyle Walker, Fernando, and HC Dang. Thank you guys so much for becoming members of the channel. That's if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much exactly like Patreon. It's just, I'm doing it all through YouTube, in order to kind of simplify things for all of you guys out there and for myself. It's just all through YouTube. But it's, honestly, it's the best way to support what I'm doing here. So if you're into that kind of thing, there's a join button. But thank you so much to the 3 of you, the guys that just signed up this week. But let's do some shout outs to all of you guys that stuck around, decided to come to the second live stream of the night. So Caleb Smith is working. Liam McNeil's here. Graham Angus, what's up, man? Thank you again for the super chat. Make the best of what's around, live and now and visible. Awesome. And it looks like we're pretty much back up to the same amount of viewers as we had right before I had to shut it down and restart. So that's pretty cool. Didn't really, it seemed like everybody made it back. So Matthew DeLuca, this is the first time anything like this has ever happened, says every man. Yep. Brian G's in the house. What's up? Brandon Theobald, working now. Man, thank you guys. Just blame it on the weather. Yeah, honestly, maybe we'll just say that it was the weather. Yeah. Mandy party over here. Let's start over. Plant Powered Runner. Hey Ryan, cheers from Canada. Yeah, Chase, Dave, I was kind of into the Invisible Ryan thing. Maybe try next time. Maybe that'll be the theme of the shows from now on. It's just like it starts and I'm not in the chair. Maybe I'll just do that. We can just make something of it. Yeah. Oh man. Make the best of what's still around. Do you have a time goal for getting into Western states? I assume you mean so like getting selected. Like that is probably like at this point, like 5 to 15 year plan. I mean, right now, so how many, I don't know how many tickets. I don't know if they're going to, because there was no lottery this year. So I don't know if, I don't know exactly how that's going to work if, so next year when I get into the lottery, cause I'll have 4 years of eligibility, but I think I will only be at 3 years in the lottery system, which is kind of, it's whatever. I mean, everybody's on the same level playing field there. It's not like I lost anything or anybody lost anything by the race not happening. It's just, that's how it is. Yeah, so I mean, at this point, like I think the last time I applied, my chances were like 1 in I don't know, a couple, like 2,000 or something like that. Oh my gosh. Now it says that my stream quality has been automatically lowered because the internet connection was not strong enough. That is not true. Man, this software, I tell you, Ecamm has been like amazing, but recently in the last couple weeks, I have had some major mess ups with it. And this one today was just, man, that was the top of the list for things going wrong. I don't think I'm streaming in 4K. No, 1080. Yeah. So as far as that, Western states, like the more times you apply, the more tickets you'll get every year. You build them. It's like a multiplying system. They don't, it's not just like every year you get one ticket. It's like n to the number of times that you've applied. And so you can kind of like once you get up to like 7 or 8 years, your chances, it's like highly likely that you're going to be picked just because of how many tickets you've got in the lottery. But there's even people in the last couple years who have been applying for 7 or 8 years who were not getting in. So I don't know at this point. I mean, it's probably looking like somewhere in the next like 10 to 15 years, like maybe I'll get picked to run Western states. But I am going to be there this year. As long as, like things with like COVID and stuff, like, kind of settle down, as long as hopefully I can get vaccinated, before June. But yeah, I will be, if things like smooth out and like calm down with all that, I'll be there like crewing and pacing my good friend, John, True Love. So, yeah, that'll be super awesome. David, sorry, I read that wrong. I was reading two names at the same time. Dodd C, happy Wednesday from Hong Kong. Ronald Winkler, yo, yo, yo. Joseph Reeves is here. Happy Pancake Day. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm so messed up right now. Like with this whole thing is throwing me off, but, happy Pancake Day to you too. Cheers from Mexico. How's it going? Okay. So Ronald Winkler asks, how do you qualify for Western states? So if you go to the Western States website, there's a list of qualifying races, I think is just what the list is called. And you have to run a qualifying race and finish it within the time limit that's on the Western States website. So most of them is just like finish the race. But for some races, they have you not only have to finish, but you have to finish under a certain time. That's not very common though. Most of them, it's just like if you finish the race, you qualify to enter the lottery. And then you, on a certain day, you get like a week in December, you can go to Ultra Sign Up and enter the lottery for Western States. And you have to choose like which race you qualified for the lottery at. And then they look through every single person that applied, which in the past couple of years has been like pushing 5, 6. I think last time there was like 7,000 people that got in the lottery, but they look through every single person and make sure that they ran that race that they said they did and had a qualifying time or qualifying finish. And then you get tickets in the lottery. And for your first year, you get 1 ticket. I think for your second year, you get 2 tickets. Your third year, 4 tickets. And then it starts multiplying from there. So then your 5th year, you'd get 8, 16, 32, on and on and on. So your first 2 years, you have almost no shot of getting in. But there are people that get in their first couple years. And then your third year, once you've run a 100-miler, 3 consecutive years, and you've applied for Western States 3 years in a row, then your chances start going up like a little bit. Oh, Mike, seems doubtful for Western States happening this year. Really? I haven't heard anything. I think it'll happen. I think there'll be a lot of rule changes with crews, and like how many there's going to be a lot less access to aid stations, I think, because that race, oh my gosh, like it's the biggest crowds at aid stations of any race I've ever been to, for any 100-miler I've ever been to. David Job says lots of ISPs in the Midwest and South having issues due to weather and power. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everything's slowing down now. I've got Metronet, and usually it's like 200 megabytes up and down. So tech is great when it works, but it doesn't, says the plant-powered runner. Oh, baby, it's like the world is coming to a grinding stop. Yeah, StreamYard is great to go live with. Yeah, I've looked into StreamYard. Honestly, for me, for what I do, for the simplicity, like, I mean, Ecamm has been really great so far, but it's also expensive, which I don't like. Graham Angus, did you watch the Black Canyon 100K? Yes, I watched the start, and then I went for my run, turned it on a couple times during the run, and then I watched a little bit towards the end. But I saw some of the replays, like Justin Grunwald finishing, I don't know what place he finished in, like 20th or 21st or something like that, but it was a sprint finish at the end. That was really exciting. But yeah, looks like a really, really cool race. I would love to run a race out in Arizona sometime. I mean, it's just looks like a really beautiful place. Dave Dillon sabotaged it because you didn't buy a Chase Summit cap. Yeah, actually, I did buy one. It's actually behind this sign though, so maybe he sabotaged it because I'm not like featuring it on my desk. John Truelove says they just sent out an email about Western States. It's all still a go at this point. Good, nice. Dave says we've got like 3 feet of snow on the ground, but it's like 50 degrees today. New England life. Wow, that's crazy. It only got up to like maybe like 11 degrees today, and we've got probably close to like 2 feet of snow on the ground right now. Indiana doesn't typically. This is like Indiana. February is always brutally cold, and the wind is always awful. And that's the worst part about the Midwest is the wind. Typically though, when we get snow, it's like a couple inches and it hangs around for a couple days and then it melts. This has been very atypical. Like this snow that's been around has been around for like 3 weeks, and it's not going anywhere. And the temperature hasn't been above 25 degrees in like 3 weeks. And it's been averaging like 10 degrees and below, honestly. So yeah, just one of the best investments I've ever made for my running is that treadmill. Hasn't been great for YouTube though, because I'm not able to get as many videos out and stuff, but yeah, it's been great for my running. Make the best of what's around says, how do you imagine it will feel to have 10,000 subscribers cheering you on as you run a cool jewel? Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I mean, hopefully, I think, if the trend continues, we'll get there before May. Hopefully soon. It was like, YouTube is so weird. And that's why you really it's really, really fun and encouraging to look at those numbers, but like anything social media, you kind of also have to try to ignore it at the same time, because it's so like it changes so fast. Like last fall, there was 2 or 3 videos that like really went off, and a lot of people came to the channel and subscribed. And it was like to the point where like there was a couple weeks in a row where I was getting 100 subscribers a day, and it was like blowing my mind. And you know, at the same time, you're like, wow, if this continues, like, oh my gosh. But you also have to think that, okay, it's not going to continue. And so it's kind of, I mean, it's slowed down a lot since then. And it's kind of more like probably like an average pace for a like vlogger or something, in the running community. But yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. A number like 10,000 is one of those like round numbers that's just like, it feels like something of an accomplishment. It really does. And, you know, I'll be really proud when I hit it. So thank you all for being here and subscribing. But Dave, let's do a treadmill live stream. Sounds boring, or does it? Yeah, I think that would be really boring. I've actually really thought really hard about how to incorporate treadmill content into YouTube. And it's just like the most boring thing I can, like, I've actually filmed myself twice out there, and it is so boring that I will like refuse to put it on, because it's just like there's like nothing is happening. And it's like you can put the coolest music you want to it, but it's still just a dude in the same place running on a treadmill. It's just like so boring. So I don't know. Yeah, not a whole lot of desire to really do a whole lot. I had like these like visions of kind of like making the area like super cool. And if you like, there's a couple triathlon channels I follow, and some of these like triathletes that are like, you know, they do like the bike inside, they do the run inside during the winter. If they're also YouTubers, they do have a really, really cool space that they've made inside. But it's just like, you'd have to go like really all out. And then even at that, it's almost like, I mean, it's still, the videos are kind of boring, but hey, what's up, Matt LeGrand? Thanks for stopping by. I bet we could make treadmilling cool. Maybe we could. Maybe we should try that. Maybe a couple of us should get together and try to do something. Oh, jeez, Dave. Easy. Mix alcohol, treadmill, being live. I'd watch. Well, when you say it like that. Make it a Tuesday night hike on the treadmill. Yeah, we could do that. Oh, man. Okay, cool. So I know, like, if there's anybody here watching that saw the title, they're probably wondering why we're not talking about watches right now. But if you haven't seen, there's a new watch on the market called the Garmin Enduro. And this is like a really exciting watch for me, because one of the main things as ultra runners that we're looking for is battery life. And up until now, there have been a lot of watches that can probably get you a 100-mile finish. Garmin's got a bunch, like, well, Phoenix 6, 945, some of those, like, they could probably get you a 100-miler in the right conditions, you know, if you put your settings right, if it's not too long of a 100-miler. Well, they're all 100 miles, but like because I've done some 100-milers that take me nearly 35 hours. And then there's others that, you know, are shorter. But if you get if you get a watch like something like the Polar Grit that is advertised as 40 hours, like, I would be really, really worried to take that out on a 100-miler, because I've had the Sunto 9 also that was rated, I forget, they said like something like 30 or 35 hours, and it died at 19. So it's just like, it's very unpredictable, especially based on the weather. I think, you know, battery life is one of those things where for ultra endurance athletes, it's just really, really important. So up until now, it's pretty much there's a lot of people that can pretty much get you to a 100 miler. And then there's Coros, who a couple of their watches will definitely be able to. But really that's been like the only reliable brand so far. And I feel like with this, Garmin just said, let's put some competition out there. So I've got this pulled up and we're just going to kind of like walk through some of the specs and hopefully this works right. Hey, that worked. So this is the Garmin Enduro, and if you've seen like Dave put out a video this morning, if you've seen his video, or like DC Rainmaker, or there's a couple others, like, all the stats and everything. So we'll just go through a couple of them, but I'll give you kind of like my opinion and a little bit of like, I guess, reaction to this. I don't have one. I've been in contact with Garmin and I think I might be getting one, but I haven't heard anything in a couple weeks, so who knows? But this is what it looks like right here. This is the titanium version. There's also a steel version. They both have this nylon band, which is going to help with some of the stuff we'll talk about here in a second, like the weight. I also really like the nylon band. Like if you've seen my Apple Watch recently, like in videos and stuff, I've got, I think it's nylon, but it's like the Velcro one, and it's actually really comfortable, and I actually prefer it over the rubber one now. But we'll just go through, where's the specs? Here we go. Okay. So battery life, obviously, it says, up to 70 hours GPS, like that's right down here. But one of the things that is really, really interesting to me is the weight also. And I think that the weight of this is actually one of the major features that will end up drawing me to probably use this watch during my 100 milers, even if some of the features like may not be there that are on like the Phoenix 6 or something like that, because the weight of the titanium version is 58 grams, steel version is 72. And that might sound like a lot for the steel version, but I did actually, let's see if this works. Hey, we got a scale here. And I did bring a couple of my other watches out here. So that 72 grams for the steel version, 58 for the titanium. Remember that. So you got this, this is the Coros Vertex. Let's put this on the scale. And we're looking at 76 grams. So the Coros Vertex is the watch that I used for No Business 100. And I've always kind of thought of it as like, it's a big watch, compared like on your wrist. It's definitely not like a small, like an Apple Watch or something like that. But I never really thought of it as like that heavy of a watch. And for both of these new Garmin watches to come in lighter than that is pretty impressive. And then like the Polar Grit, which I know a lot of people use for ultras, is 65 grams, and the Vantage V2 is 52 grams. So we're looking at like even the titanium version is like almost as light as the Vantage V2, which I think is a really light GPS watch. And there are lighter ones out there, but this is the one that I use for road running pretty much all the time right now. But yeah, I just think like for me, like that weight is one of the most important things that I see on this list. And I just think it's really exciting that Garmin has put out a watch that has this long of battery life with like in that light of a watch. And a lot of it, some of it's going to have to do with that like nylon band that they've got on there, but they've also stripped out some of the things, like it doesn't have Wi-Fi. It doesn't have the routing, mapping, navigation. It's got routing, breadcrumb trails, but not navigation. But honestly, like I like living in Indiana, the amount of times that I'm going to use actual mapping is few and far between. So it's not that big of a deal to me. The breadcrumb navigation is cool because you can actually use that during races and help you see like where the trail is going. Like, you know, like if you come up to, like I used the navigation feature on the Vertex, the Coros Vertex. I used that probably 200 times during the No Business 100, just because there were so many trails that kind of come in and out of each other, and you're just kind of always guessing a little bit. But I used it a ton. So, what do you guys like? What are you guys' thoughts on the Garmin Enduro? I think it's going to be a pretty good watch, especially for ultra runners. I mean, the worst part though, honestly, is that price right there. If you want the light version, the one that's 52 grams titanium, $900. I don't know. That's getting pretty crazy there. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Not a fan at all. So Matthew says, will there be an Apex Pro coming out this year? Yeah, I think Coros is going to start updating. I mean, the last watch they came out with was the Pace, and I think we'll see a new Apex, probably a new variation. They're going to have to do something because that was Coros's main claim to fame, was their battery life. Everything else is just average with their watches. But so they're going to have to come out with a watch that does like 100 hours in GPS mode. Matt says, my question is, do you think we're going to see a bump in Garmin battery life on all of their future watches? Next could be 955. It's a good question. I think they're going to have, we'll see. Like apparently this one has a bigger battery, but they had to sacrifice some of their other stuff to do it, obviously. So we'll see. I think we're going to see, I think there's also other things going on under the hood. Like there was also something that said everything's been redesigned. So I'm guessing like all the software and everything is totally changed too. So Dave says, I wish they took the tech and guts out of the Enduro and packed into the Instinct in some way at the $500 price point. Yeah, that's the other thing. So my opinion of this is that the price is way too high. They should have put it, if they wanted, like they're competing. I mean, I think this is a direct shot to Coros. And I think they should have priced it right at $600. And that would have completely ended the Vertex, in my opinion. But since they went up to $800 for the steel version, I mean, there's still going to be a lot of reasons why you might pick the Vertex if you already have a Coros and you're kind of familiar with the ecosystem and you want to save $200. Yeah, so I think my opinion is for the features that they're putting out in this watch, I think it should have been $600, $650 maybe. The other cool thing that is going to be on here is rest timers, which is going to be just kind of really interesting information to look at later. Like I've always tried to when I go back and like analyze a race, like I'll take a quick look at like the amount of times that I did stop at aid stations and try to add up some of that time. But apparently this watch is going to do it for you. Whether it happens automatically or if you have to hit the lap button, I don't know exactly. Maybe both, but we'll see. Joel says only 3% as heavy as an egg weight though. Yeah, man, those egg weights are cool. Like I'm really enjoying them. They're not here right now. They're out by the treadmill, but I've been using them quite a bit, and it's just like I can really feel it, because you don't think, I mean, like 1 pound in each hand, like when you're holding it in your hand, you're like, it's not that much. But when you're actually using it and like using it with the same motion that you would be using a pole, I mean, that's pretty good. Like, I don't know, I should look up how much my poles weigh. I've got the Black Diamond Carbon Z, 130 centimeters. So I don't know. They're definitely not a pound each though. So this is like good training. And when you use those egg weights for like an hour or something, like you're really feeling it by the end. Yeah, Joel, too expensive in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think, I mean, it's just so, like when I saw that price tag, I was just like, wow, that's really going to limit who's going to actually buy this watch. Like, I don't know who has $800 or $900 to spend on a GPS watch, but I don't. Now if I would pay, honestly though, for that watch, for the Garmin ecosystem, that battery life, and all the features and the weight of it, the titanium version, I would definitely, like 600. I think that's a sweet spot right there. I would pay that. Adam Tice says you could stream it. I think we're talking about some race that people want us to do. Clayton Dillon Grand Classic. Nice. Let's see. Chris says, how often do you answer comment questions on your videos? I try to answer all of them, but honestly, I can't. Just because there's so many. And that really changed like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, was kind of the turning point where it just became, I was spending over an hour a day responding to comments, and it just became I couldn't keep up with them. So I do my best to respond to everybody, especially people that like ask questions. I try to, but it's just, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't get to everybody and every single comment. I wish I could, but yeah. Oh, so you say I sent you an email but never heard back. Yeah, I did get your email, and I read most of it. I'll try to get back to it. It was really long, but yeah, you had some good questions. If you have them, put them here in the chat, and I'll answer them right here. But yeah, so also wanted to talk about recovery tonight. I've been using this thing called the TENS unit. It's like a muscle like stimulator. It kind of feels like a massage. It's kind of like a relaxing thing. It's like these two like sticky pads that you put like somewhere on. I've been using it on my legs, like on my calf. And then you like turn it on and it like starts shocking you. But it's really, really cool. And it's really been helping my calf out a lot. 'Cause I think, like, I know a lot of you guys probably saw a couple videos ago. I was saying in several videos in a row that my calf was just kind of like getting really tight, and certain times it was feeling like just like really uncomfortable. But this has really been helping. I've been using it at night, like just kind of when I'm sitting around, like working on the computer or if I'm watching TV or something. I will just put that on, and it's great. You just literally sit there, and it kind of like massages your muscles. It's awesome. You don't have to do anything. So if you guys haven't seen that, I might try to like put it in a video or something coming up. But I also have been using percussion massage guns and also rolling a lot. And that's really been helping, especially since I've been kind of like upping my mileage and getting my mileage up to that 55 miles a week. It's kind of the baseline where I want to build from. And so over the last 3 weeks, I've been able to get that. And so that's been great. And then just building from there is the plan. And then also like getting the vertical as well. So, all right. Okay, Chris. Good. Yeah, put your questions in here. Perfect. Sean says, this is a direct shot at Coros for the battery life. The tech has been there. Coros finally took enough of Garmin market share for them to do something about it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was like, I'm like fairly like tech savvy, but I'm not like, I don't know like all the ins and outs. I know that they're like Coros makes some big sacrifices with their watches to get that battery life. But that was just like, that was their play, and it worked, and they shook the market up big time, and it was good for the market. Like it needed it. Cause you always had like Garmin, Suunto, Polar. I mean, Polar, like they were big, they were like big in triathlon, and then they started getting bigger, I think recently, with like trail runners and ultra runners. But, yeah, like Coros really, really shook it up, with that battery life. And, honestly though, like people don't really need it unless you're an ultra runner. I mean, and that's the weird thing, is that it's really not that big of a deal. Because I was doing Ironmans with, well, I did one Ironman. Don't want to like act like I did too much, but I was doing tons of triathlons and half Ironmans. And then I did full Ironman with, a Phoenix 5. No, a Phoenix 3. With a Phoenix 3 that is rated at like 12 hours battery life. I did an Ironman on it. So it's like, I mean, even like 5-6 years ago, like triathletes were good. Like marathoners were good. Like you didn't need that much battery life. I mean, sure, you had to charge it a few more days out of every month, but it was really only, ultra runners that were really kind of like, that thought they needed better battery life. And so, yeah, when Coros came and innovated, I think the market saw that like ultra runners, like there's more of us now. Okay. So Chris, talk test. I saw you talk while you run, which means that you easily passed the talk test. I used to run 10 miles easy, but lately after a mile, I'm out of breath and have to walk. Does that mean I'm running too hard? No. If you can talk while you're running, you're probably running in like zone 1 or low zone 2, which is fine. I mean, it's just, it just depends on what type of run you're trying to do, what type of training you're doing, what type of race you're, training for. A lot of times, like when I'm talking into the camera, it's because, I'm at a part where it's a little bit more chill, or, I don't know, there's some parts where I'm kind of like huffing and puffing. But yeah, I mean, it just depends. Like like when I get my heart rate up closer to zone 3, and then especially higher than that, like there's no chance I can talk to the camera. It would, like one word would come out at a time. So it really depends on like your fitness and what type of a run you're doing. And in order to figure out what your zones are, the best way to do it is to do like a test, like a track test, or like a kind of like a time trial on like some sort of flat road or something, where you can get like a really consistent pace going for somewhere around 30 minutes. And there's a lot more to it, but the main gist of it is to do like a 30-minute time trial, and then you take your average heart rate from that, and that becomes your lactate threshold heart rate, and you can plug it into a formula, and it'll give you 5 zones. And so then from there, you know that, okay, from like, so my, say my zone 1 is up to 125 beats a minute, like, and then my zone 2 is 125 to 145, something like that. I mean, those aren't mine. I'm just like throwing numbers out there. But once you have those zones, you can actually like train a lot better, a lot more targeted. I don't want to say better, because there's a lot of people that do not train by heart rate that are doing just fine. A lot of Olympians who have probably never worn a heart rate strap. So yeah, it's a way to train. It's a way to structure your training to make sure that and it's really, really good for people that don't have a coach, people that, like a coach that's right by your side, like running on a track and there's a coach standing there. It's really good for people that don't have that. It's really good for beginners, who are not great at pacing. So that's probably my guess is that, after a mile, if you're really out of breath, and just slow down a little bit, and then maybe run easy. So, Chris, my second question is about landing technique. I saw that you take shorter strides and land on the ball of your feet. Does that save energy when running? And should I constantly think about not overstriding in order to run easier, which would equate to easily passing the talk test? So yeah, your running technique and your form is extremely important. There are world-class runners that heel strike. And there are, like, obviously really good runners that run, that would have a midfoot strike or a forefoot strike. So there isn't one right way or one wrong way. There are, most people would tell you that, like, most likely the foot is designed and the ankle and the calf in order to absorb the shock properly and then load it and release the energy. The best way to do it is to have a midfoot strike. That way, like, the energy is loaded and it's released in the most efficient way possible. When you heel strike, you're actually putting on the brakes every time. But for some people, oh, what's up? Andrew Ryder, super chat. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Oh, that's awesome. You guys are being so good to me tonight. Thank you so much. This is awesome. Started off horribly with camera malfunction or software malfunction. The camera was fine. It was a software. Yeah, going back to what Chris was saying, or what I was saying to Chris. Yeah. So you're actually, like, when you're heel striking, you are technically putting on the brakes for a split second. But for some people, that doesn't matter because they're just so fast at it. They're so efficient at it that becomes the best way for them to run. And that's fine. But if you're a beginner or you're someone who maybe you think you want to do it differently, changing up your stride is very difficult, but it can happen and it can help. I got a fairly, I don't know. I injured my knee somehow. I still don't know exactly what it was. But years ago when I was transitioning from being a heel striker to more midfoot, I was just a little aggressive in that transition. And I remember to this day, the actual run that I decided, this one, I'm just going to do the whole one. I'm going to focus on midfoot. And that was just a bad idea. Like, what I was doing and what I should have kept doing was just doing like a minute forefoot and then going back to my regular stride for a couple minutes. And then maybe try again for another minute or two until it became something where it was like, after a couple weeks or maybe a month or two, maybe longer, it becomes actually more natural to run with a midfoot strike if you want to transition. You don't have to. But I still remember the run. It was a 7-mile run and there were some hills in it. I remember exactly. And I was just like, this whole one, I'm going to try midfoot striking. And with about a mile to go, I felt something going wrong in my knee and didn't know what it was, but pushed through it. And then my knee was messed up for like a couple months. And this was way long ago. This was probably, I don't know, 10 years ago. But it's wild that I still remember the run. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it was like an injury. So, but yeah, just transition really slowly if you're going to. Shoes, I don't think matter. I mean, there are some shoes that make it a little bit easier, maybe. Ultras are kind of designed to help you out a little bit with that. But honestly, it just comes down to just kind of focusing on it and, like moving through. I don't know if, I think once you get to it and once it becomes maybe after a year or two of running like that, you might consider yourself more efficient, with your new foot strike. But the biggest thing, I think, if you're worried about the fact that you might be working too hard, is to just slow down and to become more efficient by going slow. I think, there's, what's that saying? Like, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So remember that. And that's one of the mantras I use, during ultras. I don't think John Truelove has ever said that in his life. But yeah, when I'm out there and I'm trying to like hold myself back a little bit, I say slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Because if you're kind of pushing the limit, like you can get into trouble. And I was like throwing a little shade at John, but he's done like more ultras than I can count. So more 100-milers than I can count. So he's got all the experience he needs. He's doing his thing. But yeah, that's what I would say, Chris, is just slow down a little bit. There you go. John's still here. Nope. Awesome. Brandon says, have you noticed any changes going from ultra to Hokaney and Saucony in your stride because of the spacing difference in the toe box? No, I have not. Specifically not the toe box. I've noticed some big changes in how I'm running and how running feels, though, due to the drop. And this is something that I'm going to eventually, I don't know if I'm going to make like a full video about my thoughts on this or not, but because I kind of feel bad a little bit, because I don't want it. I need to figure out how to say this in a way that people don't interpret me saying that you shouldn't run in ultra shoes, because I think they're really, really good. But me transitioning into some of these other brands, it feels very different. And I feel like running faster is a little easier. So there's a few other things, but I'll leave it at that, give you a little taste. But running is just like, there's a little bit more like pep in my step. It's a little bit like, I feel like I can speed up a little quicker. I feel like holding a faster pace is a little bit easier. I mean, and if you look at like some of those like fast marathoners and stuff, like look at what shoes they're wearing. I don't know. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I need to figure out how to say it without, really like saying that one brand or one style of shoe is not good. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that my change to a shoe with a drop has been interesting, and like I feel faster, and I think I'm running a little bit faster too. So it is what it is. I don't have any affiliations anymore. Joel says, I heard that runners should think of themselves as athletes that specialize in running and strength training, and strength train 1 to 2 times every week. How much do you strength train, and do you recommend it to your athletes? Yeah, it's a good idea. I like right now I'm not doing any, because I'm trying to make sure that I get to a place where I can consistently hit my mileage and vertical goals. And then as it gets, because right now, it's just the place I'm in right now. I should be doing more, but I'm just not. Man, I mean, the other thing is that it's just like things are like really busy right now with holding down a couple jobs and family and then running and all of that. It's just, I mean, putting in strength training is something I know I need to do more of, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm recovering for every run. That's the most important thing right now, is I'm getting the miles on the vert and then I'm recovered for my next run. And I'm not taking any days off running. In fact, let's see what I'm on. Like, I'm doing that run streak again, 71 days. So it's not that long, but, I've been running for 71 days in a row. So, I think that is one thing that I realized last year really helped me, in my opinion, fend off injuries, is to run every day. And even if it's a short, easy, run, I think that really helps. All right, let's see. Chris says, I'm not training for any races. I simply want to run 10, 15, 20 miles or more without getting out of breath. I lead a very healthy life, no smoking, no booze. Should be achievable. Only downside is the weather. I'm in Illinois. So you being in Indiana, we have almost the same weather. Yeah. I don't know. Chris, I think your expectations are too high. To try to run 20 miles without getting out of breath, like that, I don't know anybody that can do that. So I think you're judging your runs on the wrong thing. John Truelove says, I'm glad you're branching out to other shoe brands. It may get this old dog to consider other shoes. Yeah, man. I don't know what I would do if I saw you in something that weren't Ultra Olympus. I don't know. Ever since I've known you, that's been your shoe. Joel says, now I don't feel as bad for skipping some of my coach assigned strength workouts. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, you shouldn't skip it. You should have it in your routine. And I've seen in myself, and I've seen in my athletes, like the huge benefits that come with having like a consistent strength routine. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like right now for me, it's the extra thing. If I wasn't training for a race like the Cruel Jewel, and I wasn't spending so much time hiking and getting vertical, I feel like I might be able to slide in some more strength training. But I mean, on the other hand, like all the hiking that I am doing is, in a way, it's changing up the muscle groups. It's changing up a lot of stuff. So it is, in a way, some sort of strength training, because the load on my legs is completely different than running. It's at an angle, so there is some good things happening there. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm scrolling back up, see if I missed any questions or whatnot. I think we're at, with all that technical difficulties, we're at just about an hour. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Put them in the chat, and I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. Scrolling through to see if there's anything else. I hope you guys are doing well. This week has been pretty good for me so far. Like, I figured out like a good way to kind of structure my runs, and get a little bit extra time. It's been busy at work, but I've been able to kind of get a little extra time this week. So that's been good. So I did a 7 miler yesterday and an 8 miler today. and I've got over 5,000 feet of vert so far just in 2 days this week. So I feel like I'm adapting pretty well right now, and I'm excited to see like what where my training goes from here, because as of right now, like I mean, I'm healthy. I don't have any injuries. I'm able to do like the maintenance, like with foam rolling, massage, and with this TENS unit that I have that is seriously, you guys got to check this out. There's a link down below this video that links you to my Amazon store that is all affiliate links. And so I think we all know how affiliate links work at this point. Yeah, it's in the recovery section. So go check that out. It's a decent one. I mean, I've been using it for a couple weeks. It's actually recommended to me from a friend, Matt Cantrell. So I don't know if he watches these or not, but shout out, Matt. Thanks for recommending it. Chris says, Ryan, did you get a foot of snow in Indiana? Yeah, we've got like 2 feet of snow right now. So how do you run in that? I don't. Not right now. I am not. That's one thing. I am totally fine with admitting that I am not a winter runner. Like if I didn't have a race to train for, I would go out and run in it. But I am not the kind of person that is like right now. I'm getting excellent training on this treadmill, and Cruel Jewel is only 13 weeks away or less right now. So it's like, it's crunch time. Like I gotta be putting up big training numbers right now. And this snow it's not feasible, to do the type of training the way I want to do it out in that snow. So I'm fine with not being a winter runner. Maybe I'll go around outside tomorrow though, because it looked like most people in my neighborhood like shoveled the snow because we had a snow emergency. I mean, like Indiana, like we're pretty used to snow. I mean, the plows run all night, every night during the winter. All the roads are salted and all that. But yeah, Purdue closed down yesterday because there was like 2 feet of snow out there, or today they closed classes. There's some like county roads that are closed. So, I mean, we're in it. We're in it right now. Yeah. So Joel says the only other ultra shoes I've worn lately are Topos. A lot of people are recommending Topos. I'll definitely check them out. They look like they have some cool shoes. They look like they had some cool versions of some stuff, so might be checking those out. I do have, I don't know if, no, they're actually in the box. So I ordered some Salomon Wild Cross, and they're actually the wrong size, so I'm shipping them back and getting different size. But they are like specifically a soft ground trail running shoe. So I'm hoping that these Wild Cross will work out for like some like really nasty mud running for the OPSF 50K that I have coming up in 4 or 5 weeks. I don't even know. Like honestly, like it's a 50K. Like I should be focused, and I should know when it is. But I'm just so like laser focused on the Cruel Jewel that this OPSF 50K is just kind of like, it's on there. It's on the calendar, and I'll show up and do it, and I'm going to push myself hard. But it's not like I'm training for it. But I am looking at these shoes, Salomon Wild Cross. Hopefully, once I get the right size, I'll be able to test them out a couple times. And there's a couple other good, like decently good, like mud running shoes that like Hoka has one called the Evo Jaws. There's a couple others out there. Jonathan Elk says hardest run in Indiana. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I did. I've been down there. I don't think I've ever actually ran down there, but I filmed a like promotional video for a race. It's more like a short documentary. Followed a couple runners around that race. It's cool. Great people. Good organization. I'm really excited to do it. It got canceled last year. But I do wish it was 50 miles. I'm a little disappointed that it's just a 50K. But we'll see. That's coming up pretty soon. But all right, guys. Graham, thank you for reminding me. I need to update the description box for a new live stream. Yeah, I just did it. Like, I was just like, end stream, start new stream. Well, yeah, and it didn't. So there's probably no description. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. This was a wild and crazy start to this show. Thank you for flexing and adjusting and getting over to this one. Yeah, I don't know. You guys are awesome. Thank you to those of you. Let's see. Thank you to Andrew Ryder for the super chat. And thank you to Graham Angus for the super chat. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I'm glad we made it. I'm glad that my software could see me. I'm glad that you could see me, that I'm definitely not invisible. Like, I am here. Oh my gosh. This is like, I'm glad I deleted that video because that could have become a meme. Like the Zoom meeting with the cat. Oh my gosh. I'm here. I'm ready to move forward. I am not a cat. Yeah, that could have been horrible. But all right, guys, thank you so much. That's it. I'll see you guys again soon. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and getting out and yeah, getting your run on, getting your training on. And I don't know, we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Is it going to warm up here in the United States? I'm a little jealous of the people down in Australia right now, running in their Australian summer. But it'll be hot, and we'll be complaining about the heat pretty soon here. So, all right, that's it. Thanks, Reg, for joining. I will see you again soon. Bye.